loaded, and he would just be like, "What the is your problem?" and like still just pounding tech Paris.
See, that's what you think.
I don't know.
That's what you think, but then you would find yourself at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and Steve Austin would look at you and he'd be like, "I want to thank you for trusting me this weekend, because a lot of people think that I'm just this hard."
Yeah.
But he'd be like,
Wow.
But being out here this weekend with you really has been special for me, like, and you would be like, "God damn, I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know."
It's like
that
not
Steve
every
Austin-
rattlesnake has venom, Like,
Yeah.
Welcome to Oops All Segments, the best podcast hitting your eardrums at this very moment. I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm your other host, Thomas, and we are here today with Austin Archer. He is on TikTok. You know him as an actor and a musician. This man freaking broke the internet. Austin, how are you?
Broke it. Snapped it in half over my knee and sent it packing.
Take that,
You did
internet.
The people's elbow to the damn Netscape navigator.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny that you said that, because the segment that I brought to Oops All Segment,
Yeah.
there's some people's elbow like action in there. We'll get there.
Okay.
But that's a fun like
love
It's a nice
foreshadowing.
little foreshadow.
Wow.
This is
There's
crazy.
gonna be a callback that you didn't even know you set up.
Well,
So,
Holy
look at us
crap.
go.
yeah.
That is
We're
exciting.
stacked. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Thanks for coming on the show, Austin. Thanks for coming.
I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh,
Thank you for having me.
Glad. I just said glad, just like outwardly. Emotions I'm feeling.
Glad.
Glad. Yeah.
I'm going to say one too. Jealous.
Thomas has never seen me smile, so this is new for him.
Beard.
There we
That's
go.
close to an emotion. Yeah, good try.
Yeah,
good
that's
try.
like a.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm in
interesting thing on
therapy
your
school,
face.
so I,
something you saw, but okay. Yeah.
as a person
Yeah,
learning
the-
to be a therapist, I've been building my emotional vocabulary. So beard
Yeah.
is really close, though.
Sure.
Yeah, they were showing me the emotion chart, and they were like, "Which one's this one?" I was like, "Angry." They're like, "That's very good." Which one's this one? Excited. Very good. Which one's this one? Beard. No,
No.
that's just that one has
Yeah.
a beard, but
Yeah.
what's his face doing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
fair.
is crazy
That's
that the
also how we get
emotions on
judged
the
at
chart.
airports for having this. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Angry because he has a beard, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. But yeah, no. We like to start off our show with a check-in, and I just want to see how you're doing. What's new with you? I know it was your birthday yesterday. I don't know if that's like if you're still feeling birthday energy, but yeah, how are you doing?
It's my birthday yesterday. I'm feeling good. I was trying to get my camera up. I sometimes I stream with a nicer camera up here, and I
Okay.
like it more because I'm feeling old. I'm 35. And I should be just feeling young, but like
Yeah.
this lower camera on my front-facing camera on my laptop is really pronouncing my double chin,
Sure.
like really strong. So I'm like, my vanity is up, and my
Right.
insecurity is up,
Yeah.
and my feeling of being old and out of shape is turned up,
Turned up.
and I'm ready to be funny.
Yeah,
So,
that's
Good,
good.
good, yeah.
It's our
hate-
hope that
We
everybody
hate when
on the
our
show
guests
feels
feel
this way.
comfortable, confident. Like, we like
Yeah.
to create a toxic atmosphere for everyone who joins us.
if you want,
so-
in solidarity. Oh no, there's a lot of shit connected.
you guys
here.
didn't even do it. It's
I could-
me that
I could,
like
like-
I didn't take the time
It-
to.
It doesn't
like, stand
feel like
up.
we did it, but if
No.
you look back, there have been a series of choices we've made over the years to create this outcome.
It was always going to happen
Yeah,
this way.
unfortunately, yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
universal constant in every
Mm-hmm.
timeline. You feel insecure on Oops All Segments.
It's
But,
I'm like Looper, except for making you a little self-conscious. I like go back in time, but instead of a shotgun, I just have like an unflattering angle on my camera.
Yeah, you've set the breadcrumb trail in motion to lead
Yeah.
me to this episode where the entire time I'm going to just have a very pronounced second chin, which you know
Right.
what, here's the real thing is, like, it's time to be honest. It's 2023. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
35 years old. None of
Slay.
these games. I'm done with these
Open it up.
filter on Instagram
Yes.
games. Let's get
Preach.
real here. Your boy's got a double chin and has had one
Yeah, it's
for
this-
some time now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
I'm gonna shave my beard off and show mine
Yeah.
off. Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
think
why
the
grew
debate
it.
is still how many chins should a person have? We don't know.
The science is out. That's what I have to say. The science is out. We don't know whether or not scientists haven't decided yet how many chins we need to eat or exist. And Thomas, how are you doing?
Gee whiz, Kev, I'm doing good. I'll start with something boring.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to do that.
Got my first interview for counseling school. Could be like the beginning of like a journey, the next chapter of my life, whatever.
Sounds boring as
but
fuck.
More excitingly, I beat Resident Evil 2, the remake today. Hell yeah. Incredible
That's a big
game.
accomplishment.
Yep.
Yeah. RE2. Okay.
Absolute
Never played.
masterpiece.
No. Are you a video gamer at all, Austin? Do you play video games?
No, but I respect the patience and the what it takes to actually complete a game like that. I know. I've watched. I mean, you know, it's like Eugene Levy in Waiting for Guffman. He says, "I wasn't the class clown, but I sat next to the class clown and I studied him and I learned from him." And it's I've never been a big gamer outside of like Mario Kart and simple things that anyone can play. But my friends and my college roommates were gamers, and I would sit and like smoke weed and watch them play games.
Sure.
And I would watch I remember watching the beginning of The Last of Us.
This is Twitch before Twitch was a thing.
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah.
Just sitting in the room, like smoking and being like, "This game's emotional." Like watching, my friends play Mass Effect and being like, "The graphics on this game, it's beautiful." Like, some of these, but like also thinking like the amount of time that people invest into these stories.
Yeah,
it's much more involved too than even like watching a TV show because you're like, I'm living
reading
in
some
there.
books. It's I agree. That's a very compelling take, I have to say.
Yeah.
I love the idea of like getting your chips out, getting a bit stoned, and then watching Joel's daughter get shot by special agents and be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, my roommates were like, "Come watch the beginning of this game. Come watch how this game started."
Yeah.
And I like sat down and watched them play it, and I was like, and I think I cried. I was like,
Yeah.
this is insane.
The TV show just came out, right? Like they started releasing episodes. So I just watched season. I'm watching through it with my girlfriend, who is not a video game person, has not played or watched the game, and we are both very big stoners, and so we were just absolutely ripped watching it. And I know exactly what's going to happen, and it fucking ripped me to pieces. I was still so sad because they did it differently and they made it all TV-ish, and it hurts more. But like being high and crying through drama is maybe the worst feeling. It's like you're like, I'm supposed to be chill, man.
You gotta take an edible, do like a transcontinental flight, and watch Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life, and just fucking cry at the innocence of childhood lost.
Exactly.
So I've still never seen that. Should I see that movie? Should I watch it?
Look, I don't want to be responsible for telling you to see it. I love it, but there's a section with dinosaurs. It's very long. I think it's cool.
I think we watched it together, didn't we, Thomas?
Yeah, I show it to everyone, but it's no big deal.
I think we saw it in theaters together. Yeah.
The thing I like about Terrence Malick, this makes him more relatable because he's kind of, he's one of those people who seems like a pretentious film guy, whatever. But on his top 5 list of movies of all time, one of them is Zoolander, and I've always respected him for that. That is a cool choice.
That is cool.
I think that people are always surprised at how some of these like some of these artists, some of these filmmakers who you would assume are like really heavy people, aren't when you meet them in real. Like Paul Thomas Anderson, everyone's like, they figure this guy must just like be such a weighty person, but like he's like, no, he's married to Maya Rudolph, and he's kind of just like a. When people talk to him, they're like, "What did that mean in your film?" And he's like, "I don't really know." He's like, "I just sort of like wrote it," and he's like, "But I just," he's like, "That's just sort of like what happened when I wrote it." And he's like, "And I just thought it was like
as everybody wants him to be."
And then Terrence Malick, it's like you watch these films, you're like, well, this guy is a real heavy cat with like a real point of view, and he's like, Zoolander, I like Mugatu.
I like the one where you can't turn left.
You guys, I am not recording the video of the stream right now. So we're doing
well,
audio
we're gonna
records. We're going to do, and then I'm going to start recording the video right now. And I'm going to do a
Holy
thing where the
crap.
videos, I'm fucking crazy. I got too amped up to do the show, but it's fine because we're going
can't
to keep
go
the
back.
audio in. We're going to keep the audio in.
It's too late.
Whoa,
too late.
Austin, you look.
Oh shit! Yeah, we're live.
Everyone the whole time was like, I really want to see if this guy actually has a double chin. And the second I pop up, they're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we
I
had
thought
a
he was
pretty
being-
visual heavy opening.
That was our chance to
Yeah.
go out and get you to fix it,
Yeah.
and you get your new camera.
Too late.
To change your confidence.
Also, like,
level,
I wore
but
this
it's not
hat
gonna happen.
specific, and it's like even on the front facing thing, you can't even tell what it says. So it just looks like I'm just
Yeah.
But it's not good. It just says proud to be an American, and it's like this hat where I don't know if I can wear it in public and if people will get that I'm wearing it
Being
in like a
ironic?
yeah, and
Right.
I don't ever wear it in public. I wear it in videos from time to time when I'm playing like a certain character, but I
Sure,
like
sure.
the fit of the hat, and I wish I could wear it out in public and have people understand that it's like a little like don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
But in the world
No,
that I
of
live in,
course.
I'm sure that people would be like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
What is that hat? And it's funny that
Yeah.
this just the American flag has become a thing that if I see it on someone else, I instantly am like, you're a piece of shit. Like,
You know what sucks is that in Canada the same things happened here because now the Canadian flag on vehicles and stuff is all like freedom convoy stuff, which
Yeah.
is like this stupid anti-mask bullshit movement that happened and like fucked things up for us. And now they sort of co-opted the Canadian flag too, so it's all
I
fucked.
wish there was like a pin you could wear that would suggest your clothes are ironic because I love like tacky t-shirts from gas stations that
You
say
do.
like I love that stuff like federal booby inspector whatever, just like the most embarrassing clothes. If I could wear that but also signal like I'm normal.
like a /S, like the
Yeah.
Reddit thing, but on a pin.
yeah.
Yeah,
I should just write on the hat next to it
Yeah.
/S with like a Sharpie. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
underneath, like,
Not
and people are
really.
like, what the fuck's with the hat? I'm like, sarcasm.
didn't see
Sarcasm.
you look at all of it.
or it's like under the brim, you like pull it up and you're
Yeah,
like, here
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
See?
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I have to return to something because
Yeah.
we're talking about Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, sorry.
He is now married to the only remaining M&M mascot. Paul Thomas
That's
Anderson
right.
is dating the green M&M.
Which we all wanted to do. Right?
That is so cool.
Yeah. Good job, Pete.
Did you guys see this on Twitter?
He did
I
it.
did
He
see
pulled
that
it
Maya
off.
Rudolph is now the
She's-
Twitter.
they-
'cause
they're
I think
eliminating
I
all
guess they
M&Ms.
caved or something. I don't know. I don't know what the right take is on this or if it fucking matters. I don't know.
I do.
I
But I can't
genuinely have
say
no
it
idea.
or I'll get put in prison, but I do know the right take.
Here, I got a story for
I'm-
you about Terrence Malick and the Tree of Life. We were talking about
I
that.
like
Yes.
And I'll
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you this real quickly. So I haven't seen this movie, but I did a film like 4 or 5 years ago with Ty Sheridan, who's in that movie. And we were at lunch one day, and I asked Ty Sheridan. I said, "How'd you get into acting?" And he said, "I was like 8 years old, and I was at school in Austin, Texas, and." A producer from a movie walked into our classroom and said that they were like looking for kids for a movie and picked me out. And that was a Terrence Malick movie. And I was playing like young Sean Penn, the son of Brad Pitt and Jessica Chastain in this movie. And he's
Wow.
like, and then after that, they put me in a movie called Mud with Matthew McConaughey. And he's like, and then I just was sort of like, and I was like, I just love stories like that where it's like, hey, in case you ever needed to know that life is just not, there's no rhyme or reason
Yeah.
to any of this
Yeah.
shit. And like none of this is like, it's just like this kid was
It
just sitting
doesn't
in
matter.
school and they were like,
Yeah.
here, you're going to now have a multi-million-dollar
career.
career. Yeah. And he was
Yeah.
just like, and he was like 22 when I was talking to him and he was like, I'm really starting to like acting. And I was like, I hope so. I hope that it's fun. I hope that
Yeah,
being
I
like
bet.
Cyclops
That would
in
be
the
great.
X-Men movies, and I hope that's fun for you. I hope that you're starting to enjoy it.
I guess this is kind of working out.
The one piece of justice is that if you get selected as a child actor, usually you have a miserable life. Like normally that ruins your whole life.
Yeah,
So,
He's
like,
doing okay.
9
He's
times out
like
of 10.
25,
Yeah.
26 now. He's doing
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Good for Ty
Yeah.
Sheridan, I guess.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Shout
Ty
out-
Sheridan.
Let's get
Shout out
future guest of the
shout
pod.
out T-Share.
That'll be t-share. Yeah, that'll be our new rep for the pod. I
Kevin,
do think
we didn't check in with you.
Oh, we didn't check in with me. I'm living life on the edge. The reason why I'm unhinged and I screwed up the recording stuff is because I ate a hot roast beef sandwich today, but it was like a leftover hot roast beef sandwich. Like I'd eaten half of it before, but it was in the fridge, and I warmed it up in my air fryer because I was trying to maintain the crispiness of the bread. But it did not sufficiently warm up the inside, so then I tried to mic it, and I did not sufficiently warm up the sandwich. And I'm pretty sure that you can get sick from like poorly warming up roast beef, but I don't know. So I am living life.
You're about to know.
I think I gave myself a parasite.
We might find out later in the episode.
Yeah. So I'm dying slowly now, or faster. But I think we should probably spiral our way into a warm-up segment. Thomas.
Yeah, my favorite segment.
Your favorite segment.
Should we give that wheel a spin?
Yeah, I apologize if the audio on this is mad loud, but we will see.
Okay, here we go. Woo! Segment number 51.
51. What are we doing?
Oh, good old 51.
Good old 51.
Takes me back.
The segment title is The Zapruder Film. Participants must respond to a Dear Prudence. Yeah, so it's the Zapruder, like Prudy.
Right,
yeah.
We're not going to watch the JFK assassination.
No, thank God.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we said we got... So are you familiar with Dear Prudences, Austin?
No.
Okay.
I know the Beatles song, and I know there's a Zapruder film, but I don't know what a Dear Prudence is.
Yeah. The two don't have much to do with each other.
Retcon this into an assassination thing. Dear Prudy is like an advice columnist in Slate magazine. People write in with really bizarre problems, and so I think we're gonna try to
I
answer
figured it would be
one of
something
these
like
questions.
that. Yeah.
Sure. Okay,
Great.
so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna screen share.
I have found one, Kevin.
Okay, well, fuck it. Never mind. You're good. Ignore me. What you got?
Okay. I'm going to pull it up on my screen because they had so few visuals earlier. They need some really good visuals now.
I should cut a thing in the beginning where I'm like, folks, we messed up the recording. I'll do that at the end.
And I know I have too many tabs open. Leave me alone.
Actually, we can't see your tabs. Okay, so that was just a weird expose. You just exposed yourself.
It goes, help. I pretended to be my husband over email to swat away his thirsty ex. It all happened so fast. Do I have to tell him? Dear Prudence, last week I was doing some work on our shared desktop computer while my husband's personal email was still logged in, which I didn't realize until a notification popped up and I caught sight of his ex's name. This is the beautiful, sparkly, outgoing woman who swooped down and took his virginity when he was 27. Okay, wait a second.
Whoa.
27?
She didn't swoop down. She took her sweet ass time.
Yeah, 27. No one's swooping at 27.
I do have to say, I'm from Utah, and this is some real Mormon shit. Like Mormons, they don't have sex. So I knew quite a few 25, 26, 27-year-old virgins in my time.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, hey, everybody do your own thing at your own time. But the swoop in, this is the wrong.
Yeah, she snatched his innocence, his childlike innocence at 27.
You know how much shit I was sad about at 27. Oh man,
I didn't think I was living past 27. The only reason I did is because I wasn't famous. So I was like, I guess I have to keep going. Yeah,
Ty Sheridan isn't going to make it past 27.
That's how James Dean died. This woman swooped down and took him out. 27
She
Club.
swooped in. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they dated for 6 months. She dumped him out of nowhere and broke his heart. She's the only other woman he's ever been with, whereas I haven't been with anyone but him.
This is Mormon as shit. This is super Mormon.
Yeah.
As much as I know he loves me, our 4-year-old daughter, and the baby we just found out I'm pregnant with, I've always felt insecure about how he still seems to put his ex on a pedestal and agonizes occasionally over losing her. Whoa. Unable to control my curiosity, I skimmed the long message she'd sent him, wherein she apologized for how she treated him rambled on about unloving parents, their nasty divorce, her early abusive relationships, mental illness, drug problems, then told how she'd cleaned up, got into therapy and meditation, and now, heading into their late 30s, is desperate to become a mom.
Well,
what do we think, folks?
I think it's sad. I think it's fucking sad.
I think this woman is the enemy and she must be destroyed at all costs.
I just think that this is like a great example of why being a big slut before you get married and lock something down is a good practice. Because like these people who have like had sex with like one or like there's only one other person in your life that you've ever had sex with, and you're just hyper fixated on this one other sexual experience you had, even though you're married and you have kids, and you're just like, I can't get the only other person I ever slept with. It's like, no, you gotta like have sex with enough people to the point where you by the time you get married, you're like, yeah, I don't know, like it's all
this is fine,
whatever. I just need someone who's like sane.
You got a loose sense of what the best you ever had could be. And if you fuck
and
so
you see
much
what that comes
it's a
with
haze.
too. Yeah, that you're like,
like,
well, that was great, but she was also a fucking mess. Like she, she tried to steal my identity.
That's why I liked it so much, because I'm vain. Oh man, it's something unusual. This is something I only wanted to bring up. This has nothing to do with the Zapruder film segment that we just did or are doing, but it clicked in my brain because I think I saw it on your sort of like, here's my birthday recap thing, the emotional posts people make on their birthdays and things like that, and I noticed that you'd actually performed in an Annie Baker play at some point. Is that right? Thomas and I've directed one Annie Baker play, and Thomas has acted in one or two, right, T?
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah, just the one.
Just the one.
What'd you do? What'd you direct and what'd you act in?
I think it was the same production. We did the flick. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Great play. And you did Aliens, is that right?
We did the Aliens,
Oh, cool. Oh, I love that play.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah, she's making her first film right now. She's
what? I didn't know that.
She's directing. She wrote and directed a film, and she's making it right now, which I'm sort of bummed out about, because like my plan for the longest time was to film an Annie Baker play as a film without permission, and then like show it to her and be like, "What do you think?" Let's get
don't say no.
Ask for forgiveness instead of permission. But like
I respect that. Yeah.
When we did the Aliens, the concept I came to my friend with was, I said, I want to shoot this as a movie and do it all in one take behind a coffee shop. So like do it like in the real place, but do it like a play, but have it be acted in a very naturalistic film style. And I think that Annie Baker, just with her sensibility, would like something that feels like it is stripped of all the like bells and whistles and trim. Yeah. And it would just be like, let's just like have these two people sitting on this table behind this coffee shop and just let the characters and the dialogue sort of do the work. But it never happened. My friend said, well, let's do it as a play first, and then we'll do that after we really know the play really well. And we never wound up shooting the movie. And now she's making a movie, which I'm like, I think works for her. I think her dialogue style works for film. You know?
I think she'll transition very well into film. Yeah. Although I am sad I always get a little sad when someone who I love as a playwright moves into the film realm, because it just means often that like I'm going to get less work that I can touch as like a theater, thespian that I can like do. Not that, I mean, I don't know. I love a good play, and they don't come around that often.
Something that
they're hard to find. Yeah.
A hot take of mine is that people, myself included, people like to make fun of and criticize Hollywood for all the remakes and reboots and all this stuff, and that there's no original ideas. But I'm like, well, I don't know. In the theater, which is a much older form, we've been doing Shakespeare plays for the last 400 years, and how many like different versions do we need of one play? But everyone just is like, well, you got to see my Hamlet. You haven't seen Hamlet until you've seen my Hamlet, and it's like, well, like I think we've done it. But I would be totally cool with a future in film where we redo old movies but use the same screenplay, especially if it's like a particularly great screenplay. Just be like, I just want to see some different actors and a different director
That's actually,
tackle this
I actually am
script.
down with this. This
it's a
sounds like
great
an
script.
idea I would have
Like-
hated, and you've pitched it in a very compelling way.
We do it in theater all the time. It's just like, oh, but you got to see Ivo van Hove's version of Arthur Miller, and it's the same script,
Right.
but it's like, but it's Ivo van Hove, so it's like, oh, well, I want to see what this auteur film director is going to do with this old screenplay by Aaron Sorkin, and Aaron Sorkin's been dead for 30 years or something, and it's like, oh, but I'm gonna do A Few Good Men.
Do you know
but it's gonna
something?
Be no, I'm just saying, like in the future, like this, like I just think that like we have in film where like everything has to be a brand new original idea, which I think is great. I like that we push for that, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. We have the fact that it's like it's one and done in film, and it's like that's all you get. It's one like there's one director and one team of actors and one team of designers that get to make this script. And sometimes there's have you seen the movie
From
Tar?
a writer's perspective, like that seems very like I get it. Like often the writing is like the kind of backbone of your movie, which it should be.
I have not been
writerly
introduced to Lydia Tarr yet, but I would like to be.
Todd Field's screenplay for that movie, I'm like, how many actors would love to be like, oh God, I would love to sink my teeth into that. I'd love to, like, it's such a fantastic screenplay, and it's so well written that like, it's a bummer that it's like, no, only these people will ever get to say these
are the
words.
only people
That's
that
it.
ever got to do these.
That's it.
That's why you gotta respect Vince Vaughn and the Psycho shot-for-shot remake, because even though it doesn't work on any level,
Gus Van Sant was doing something, I think, a little ahead of his time there. I think that it was an experiment.
There is something to this.
Yeah.
I think that the problem therein lies with like, I'm going to do this shot for shot. That takes the element of that's the like trying to stage Hamlet in the Globe Theater. Like
I think that the idea is like, it's like take M. Night Shyamalan's screenplay for Unbreakable and be like, this is a really solid screenplay. Like this is like vintage M. Night Shyamalan when he was like firing on all cylinders. Let's take this and be like, what does somebody else have for this? Like what's an even more grounded version of this? Like let's see somebody, Richard Linklater come and take this thing and be like, I'm gonna do same screenplay but like different approach.
I'm gonna take a 12-year-old boy and put him in it instead. Unbreakable Boy.
Fucking Ty Sheridan again? Come on.
Fucking Ty Sheridan.
Everything's for Ty Sheridan.
Yeah. But like in the theater, how lucky that we get to play around in the Annie Baker sandbox, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like you don't rarely like you wouldn't in film. It wouldn't be like, hey, Austin, you've done this thing that we have. Like, it just wouldn't happen that way. Like there's no chance that we could work on the same film script without knowing each other, right?
Never.
Like it's one thing that's nice about what just happened is that we got the film part of the Zapruder film in as well with the Zapruder thing.
True.
So that's kind of okay. I think we
but
gotta
this
just
woman
cut over
should
to a quick little. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this woman should not be snooping around on her husband's email. And
also we have
that
lost
other woman
the
needs
plot
to stop. That other woman needs to stop emailing her ex from 10 years ago, and also these people need to have sex with more people, and that's
break up with your husband and go to a sex party.
Problem solved.
Get fucked.
I just want to read that her reply as the husband, her Snoop like fake reply said, "I am very happy in my marriage, and please never contact me again." Then I deleted the sent message, the original, and deleted them from the trash. I haven't said a word, so such a funny like
you're not being subtle. Like everyone knows. Yeah. Everyone knows. Well, maybe that led to her going to a sex party because it does sound like this relationship is fucking doomed. Folks, we're just going to cut over to a bit of a break here so that someone can plug a podcast that we would love you to hear about, and then we're going to be right back with Austin Archer.
What's up, everybody? My name is Chance Nichols, and I am the host of We Didn't Peak. It's a podcast where I interview people who don't suck. I mean, they're people who are chasing their dreams, and we talk about their lives, where they've been, where they're going, and look, you don't have to be chasing your dreams to not suck. I know plenty of cool people who hate their lives, all right? Boy, this is less an advertisement, more an insult. Okay, well, listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram at We Didn't Peak.
And we are back. Austin, I think you have a segment for us, right?
Yeah, I hope. I mean, this is going to be a very long title, and so I hope that the title's not too long for you.
That's okay.
So-
I love a long title.
You know the game Marry, Fuck, Kill?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. So it's that, but it's this is the title of it. So it's
It's you going. This
Yeah.
is it right now.
Matrimony, fornication, murder.
no. The title is Get in a Fist Fight with, Start a Business with, or Have a Magic Weekend in Paris with. Okay?
Okay.
So those are your
I
three
love
options.
This. Okay,
Get in a
hold on. I
fist
have to
fight
write this
with-
down. Fist fight.
Get in a
Fist fight,
fist
Paris
fight,
weekend.
Sweet.
start a
Fist
business,
fight,
Magic Paris
business,
weekend. Okay?
Magic Paris. Okay.
Great. I love
All right, and your
This is
first
great.
your first round is WWE or WWF
Here it is.
edition, okay?
Yeah.
So your
love
three
it.
options are Dwayne The Rock Johnson, People's Elbow,
Okay.
bringing it down,
Yeah.
Stone Cold
Love it.
Steve Austin,
Great.
and John Cena.
Beer drinking son of a bitch, and
Yeah.
you know the guy you can't see, the fucking
Yeah, one of these
Okay.
guys you have to fist fight, one of these guys you have to start a business with, and one of these guys you have to have a magic weekend in Paris with.
Magic Paris weekend with.
Yeah.
Oh
I think
man,
I know the answer.
you do?
Okay.
You got
I
it
mean,
picked?
I'm curious what everyone's take is. You gotta start a business with The Rock. Clearly, that man is a rocket ship. Like, he just understands.
I think that's
Yeah,
a very
but
reasonable
He's
perspective
the most
to have. It's
like
hard to
profitable
deny.
actor of all
Yeah.
time. Like, he just gets it. There's some level.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the failure that is Black Adam tanks that perspective just a little bit, and we just because like
Yeah.
I think he could
Yeah.
use a bit of humbling, but I think you're right. I think we have to
Yeah.
start a business with The Rock.
The Secret
Yeah.
Life of Pets put him back on top. The man can't be stopped.
It's true. I
Actually, no. Okay.
when
Maybe
you're-
revise that. Because if you get in a fist fight with The Rock,
Yeah.
when he did the Fast and the Furious movies, there was a contract that said, I cannot lose a fight to Vin Diesel. So
Right.
I could present him with a contract that says, I can't lose a fight to you. And then in the fist fight,
Do you
we
think
have
that
to
The Rock,
kind of like.
The Rock values business contracts over
I
his
think
own
so.
pride.
I could be
Yeah,
like, look,
shit.
like one tough guy to another, right? Like neither of us can lose, obviously.
You've got
We have to
Obviously,
be
it would be
equally
too
strong.
damaging to both of our reputations.
Yes, Thomas Tolles. I see exactly what you mean.
So
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Fist fight The Rock. Start a business with John Cena because he speaks
Yeah.
fluent. He speaks fluent Cantonese for some reason. And
Yeah,
Paris
of course.
Weekend with Stone Cold Steve Austin, my original heartthrob from the WWE.
I have to.
yeah, you know
flip
he's a
the
big
Stone-
softy.
Yeah, I
he's
think
got a
he has
soft
podcast.
voice, like a gentle talker.
Yeah.
Steve Austin.
Yeah, when you hear
Oh.
him on in The Expendables, he's surprisingly
Oh.
soft spoken.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. I think like
You
Steve
can
Austin.
imagine-
I think is
Go ahead.
like I just mean I do think that like he's such a drinker that I don't know if I could hang with Steve Austin on a Paris weekend. Like I genuinely think I would be like going back to that hotel room like sad and like bloated, and he would just be like, "What the fuck's your fucking problem?" and like still just pounding tech Paris.
See, that's what you
beer.
think.
I don't know.
That's what you think, but then you would find yourself at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and Steve Austin would look at you and he'd be like, I want to thank you for trusting me this weekend because a lot of people think that, I'm just this hard ass, but he'd be like,
Wow.
but being out here this weekend with you really has been special for me, and you would be like, God damn, I didn't know. I didn't know
It's like
that
not
Steve
every
Austin-
rattlesnake has venom, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Austin has revealed that there is a correct answer, and it was Steve Austin. Yes, point for me.
Yes. Point for Thomas. And yeah, John Cena you can fist fight because he's you can't see him, so you won't feel bad if you hurt him. You know.
Okay, yeah. Do you want another lineup of people?
Yeah.
It would be
Absolutely.
great to have a lineup. Yeah.
Okay, so this one is Pop Star Edition. Same question.
Okay.
But it's Beyonce, Rihanna, and Taylor Swift.
Whoa.
Beyonce.
One way or
Rihanna,
another, you're getting
Taylor Swift.
canceled in this round.
You
Yes,
want me
yeah,
to
that's-
fight a lady?
Yeah.
That's fine. I've been waiting. Every episode is a slow attempt.
Yeah.
So Beyonce, Rihanna, and Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think money wise, we can't, much like The Rock, if we're just business wise, Beyonce, I believe, has to be the most most successful fiscally on that list.
I mean, it's
I
hard
would
to make it. All three of them, like, are a good
Rihanna's
bet.
also, she's got Fenty, right? She has like the makeup game is big, and Taylor Swift is a business. Like, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
all
that-
three of them are not a bad bet to go into business with.
Yeah.
No,
But-
The
that's
thing
true.
is, you don't want to go to
fight.
Paris. You do not want to go to Paris with Taylor because she will release an album about you, like,
Yeah.
and what a weird freak you were in like
I
5
still
years.
think
I think those are the two questions to answer: is who's the best to start a business with, and who do you want to be in Paris with, and then whoever's
Well,
left
Yeah,
over,
you gotta
unfortunately.
beat the shit out of
for me,
or get your ass kicked by.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
what I'll say. I would like Beyonce to kick my ass. Like
Yeah.
that would be
You,
awesome
Thomas,
for
you
me.
always
I
say
would-
that.
It's just like
Yeah.
You say that every episode.
Yeah,
I would
every
like
episode.
Beyonce.
Usually we're more off air. You sort of like quietly like, Kev, I
want
something.
Beyonce
I know,
to do the
yeah.
to do the cowboy character from Lemonade and kick my ass.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we all want that a little bit. But like, I do think that it would be nice to go on a Paris weekend with Rihanna because I feel like she would have access and like I feel like every photo of Rihanna that's caught paparazzi, I don't pay that much attention to celebrity media, but she just like always looks like there's so much swagger. And I do respect like the fact that like you probably wouldn't be caught slipping if you were walking around in Paris. You just look fresh. It would be cool. Whereas like I feel like if I was to try and start a business with Rihanna, she'd probably do like a Succession style bear hug clause takeover and like ruin me. And because she has like ruthless energy.
Rihanna sounds exactly like Logan Roy somehow. Fuck off.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw Rihanna live. She was great. She was fantastic. I haven't seen the other two live.
Look, we're
And
not
I
disputing the talents of any of these great musicians, but who are you punching?
If you fist fought Taylor Swift, it would ruin your life. Like
I think I could beat Taylor. And like of the three of them, I think Taylor's the one I could take.
Dude.
Like basically, I think because I
No,
could
Rihanna
sort of,
and Beyonce would kick my ass for sure, and Taylor,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
have
that
to
is
let her
true.
kick my ass.
Yeah, that is true. I could
yeah.
probably take Taylor Swift.
I'd have to let Taylor kick my ass. Yeah.
Yeah, I would, but I
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I would have
I think
to-
that
I
is
would
the
have
answer. Is
to.
whoever it is, you have to lose. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, you have to lose because there's no God. Just be
Yeah.
that person forever. The guy
Yeah.
who fought Taylor Swift.
Like I had
just-
to. The other
no,
two
okay,
options-
It was outside. It was outside.
But like Taylor is famously
restaurant.
not satisfied with any of the men in her life. Maybe she just needs someone assertive enough to take her
kick
on
her ass?
once and for all. Like stand up for yourself. If Jake Gyllenhaal had like gone dukes up, Taylor would have been like, yeah, it is Jake's version.
Oh my God. Well, you were right, Austin. This is the episode where we get canceled.
Yeah, I was
Holy
trying to bring
shit.
something that could ruin
Yeah.
both of your careers, and hopefully
Yeah,
not mine,
just
because I'll just
nip
sit
it
back
in
and
the
go like,
bud.
I didn't say it, they said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of getting canceled, Austin, I did have a side thing I wanted to bring up to you. Are you familiar with the work of Tom McDonald?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on this man?
Oh my God. I think Tom McDonald's like one of those guys like Nick Adams, where like a lot of people have a hard time believing that he's real because he's such a like goof ass. But like I don't know. Whenever I hear people be like, "Isn't Nick Adams satire?" and I'm like, maybe he is. Maybe he's doing like an Andy Kaufman long game thing, and maybe Tom McDonald is too. But also like, I don't get why people are so shocked by these people. People are like, come on, that person has to be joking. And I'm like, is anything they're saying any more ridiculous than anything that Tucker Carlson
Yeah.
says or Matt Walsh says
I-
or
No,
Steven Crowder
I think
says?
there's conviction in there. There has to be conviction.
I
I
don't
just,
think
like,
it's a
you can
joke
do it
at
without
all.
conviction.
I don't think it is
but-
either. And when people say that, when
It's
people are
too
like,
effortful.
Come on, Nick Adams has to be joking. I'm like, why does he have to be joking? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see, and if it is a joke, I don't think it's well executed because I don't see him like taking it to a level where it's obvious enough. And if it is just super, super, super subtle, I still am like, you're not really saying anything that is
Yeah.
Oh,
that far removed
okay.
or removed at all from what other mainstream talking heads
We
on the
hear
right
it all the
say.
time. Yeah.
So like Nick Adams freaking out about feminist M&Ms. I'm like, Tucker Carlson did that, and so did Steven Crowder, and so did Matt Walsh, and so did Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
so
what
like,
do they have against Maya Rudolph?
Yeah, like it's not like an insane thing that Nick Adams is doing to be obviously over the top. And I think Tom McDonald's the same way. But also Tom McDonald's like one of those people who like on the right where I feel like they're trying to have it both ways, where it's like, nah, like I'm cool and like I'm, you know, I got face tattoos and I'm a rapper, but it's like, no, you're not. You're just like a fucking dweeb, and like you're
all
like
of his raps have like a little verse towards the end where he basically says like, by the way, of course, rape culture is real, and like he'll like throw in a bunch of stuff to like have it both ways. But the thing, I don't like him personally. I do find him very funny, and my take on his like style of commentary is that like it's literally like boomer Facebook memes condensed into a rap. Like every punchline you could imagine like a minion with marker felt font saying that exact line, and like your great uncle sharing it, and he's just taken all of these little gotcha moments like, oh, what? Water is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth. Like he'll do stuff like that. And I just can imagine my like dumbest relative sharing that and him being like, "Oh, that would be good."
Must be
in
the target
song.
market, though, right? Like I do think that it is all
but
headlines to
also
piss you
the
off.
Comments,
just
and this would be a good segment, but the comments under any Tom McDonald song are incredible.
It's genuinely not a bad segment idea.
It's people being
like
finally, someone said the truth, or like.
Well, it's just that the premise for so many of the jokes, and I say that in the heaviest of quotations, but the premise is incorrect. So sometimes I have a problem with that with comedians who like I don't necessarily mind the punchline or like where they land. Like he did this bit about like how you can't say Merry Christmas anymore and shit like that because people get offended by saying by people saying Merry Christmas. And his
which
thing
is
was
like 20 years too old. Like no one even cares anymore.
It's just like like we do this every fucking year. Like we're
here all the time.
It's one of the strangest things in the world that like people insist that the most widely and loudly celebrated holiday in the world is something that is like somehow being suppressed.
Under threat. It's under threat.
We do it every year. We have this conversation. But like his punchline was, he was like, so I came up with a non-threatening neutral term that everyone can use, and his thing was like, have a fucking December, just say that to anyone. And I was like, hey, sure, go ahead. I'm like, I don't mind that conclusion. It's not I don't mind the end.
And there's actually a funnier way to get to that, right?
Yeah, like have a fucking December. But I'm like, your premise that like people are offended by someone saying Merry Christmas, I'm like, no, they're fucking not, man. The only people who are mad is you. Like the only people who are mad are people on the right who are living in a strange opposite world where like somehow it's not okay to say Merry Christmas, even though like that's never been the case. And so it's like, I don't know where you live that like you said Merry Christmas to someone someday and they were like, how dare you?
Yeah,
it's
literally never happened. Like no one in human history has ever been mad.
Just like the premise for your joke. Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. No, you're right. It is a false premise.
John Cleese, who, John Cleese is a legend and he's part of Monty Python and like he's been a part of but like John Cleese is doing this thing where he's just
he's kind of fallen from grace.
He's becoming old man on the internet who's like, so what, my
I
jokes
saw John
from 40
Cleese
years
live.
ago aren't and you're like,
dude. Like, and he came to this like tour recently where he was like going through a divorce and he had to pay off some shit, and so he said that on stage, so it was weird, but like his whole energy was exactly what it was, just like a preview of what's to come. This was like probably 4 years ago, pre-COVID. I took an edible, which should make me fucking laugh my ass off at a John Cleese show. I didn't laugh once, and it was just like, we, even the Monty Python boys, were really funny because we used to do this thing, and it like. Wait, he just talked about his fucking accolades and how much worse comedy is now.
Do a silly walk. Anyway, back in
like
the
how you
summer
can't make
of
jokes
19.
now.
Yeah.
you can see it happening when you watch it happen in slow motion. Like we watched it happen with Elon Musk, even though he was never funny to begin with. But like you watch it happen where like people, the second that they start feeling any kind of criticism coming from the left or anything center of left, they're like, oh, well, if you guys are going to be mean to me, then fuck you. And like, you just see this thing of like being like, well, then I'm a centrist and I don't really align anywhere. And it's like, and it's just like a matter of weeks or months before that person is just full blown tweeting out like vaccine conspiracy theories and shit, and you're like, how'd you get here? Like, how'd you like? And it's just because they were like, well, they were mean to me, so like now I'm over here and I'm like friends with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it's like, how'd you manage that? But it's like,
I think it also often coincides with more and more amounts of wealth, which is the other part of it too.
Totally,
I'm sure John Cleese is richer now than he used to be.
Yeah, I think what happens for a lot of comedians is they become so successful and so out of touch that they don't have like experiences to draw on anymore. So they just start like getting mad at trans people or whatever because they're just like, well, what's something in the news that I can talk about? Like, and so it just becomes very conceptual.
They start
and
trying to be funny instead of being funny, which is
well, or they just talk about how jokes they used to make would be canceled. They're just talking about comedies like really falling apart these days because like now people are just trying to be more like thoughtful with their language, just like how it always like human beings have always been like, is there a better way we can do this? Is there a better way we can approach this situation?
The only thing we're not allowed to be progressive or growth focused in is language. We have to be very reductive and we have to be very simplistic in the way we think about things so that we can easily monetize and commodify it.
If an audience laughed at something I said 20 years ago and then 20 years later is saying, you know what, actually, I don't know if that still holds up. That language still holds up, and that like, premise still holds up. It's like, how fucking dare you? How dare the audience like evolve their stance? You all laughed 20 years ago at that. It's like,
don't you forget about it.
I know we did.
But it's like Jerry Seinfeld is. Jerry Seinfeld is like, 20 years ago this was funny, and it's like, Jerry, 20 years ago your girlfriend wasn't born yet.
Jerry Seinfeld's another person who every time I hear Jerry Seinfeld on a podcast, I'm like, you are like the maddest guy. Like, he's just mad about everything. He's
so grumpy.
He's just like,
which is so weird because like when he was famous, he didn't seem like he seemed like, even in his show, he doesn't seem like genuinely mad about anything.
No, like, he seems like he's really carefree. Like in the height of his comedy, he was kind of like, I'm just like a guy who, hey,
whatever happens
I like
to me
Superman
happens.
And blah, blah, blah. And now it's just
my
every
friends
time
are
he's
crazy.
on a podcast, he's just like, young people, right? Like nothing's fun. No one wants to be anywhere. I hate everything. I'm not happy to be here. People are like, you're a great
movie really
comedian.
fucked him up, man.
But John Cleese tweeted out this thing the other day on Twitter where he was like, this joke's 40 years old, and today people would cancel me for it. And it's the bit from Monty Python where they're trying to like write like this Magna Carta about like how they're fighting for human rights, and they want their rights respected by the power structure, and they keep saying like, any man who, and the other and I think I can't remember who it is, and the skit keeps going, or woman, and they're like, yes, or woman, thank you very much, and then finally one person goes, why are you talking about women so much? And he goes, well, because I want to be a woman. And it's this whole joke about like transgender people go, why do you want to be a woman? And the whole premise of the bit is he's like, I want a woman because I want to have babies, and I want to be a woman because I want to have babies,
right?
And then the punchline of the bit is, and he goes, well, it's a symbol of our fight against oppression. And John Cleese says, it's a symbol of his fight against reality. But shush, that's the punchline of the joke. But the problem is that the premise of the joke is not real. Like, that is not what being transgender is. Like, transgender women they're not women because they're like, I want everyone to acknowledge that I'm biologically capable of having children. I want everyone to acknowledge that I have a uterus. Like, that's not what that is.
That's not what's happening right now.
So the premise of the joke is stupid. So the punchline only works if trans people are like, everyone needs to say that I have a uterus or you're a bigot. And that's not what's happening. So it's like, okay, it's funny if that's what being trans is, but that's not what being trans is.
I think,
you're not representing that here.
Like, people get angry at something so far before they even have time to learn about it or understand it that they can't even write a good joke about it because they like got mad too quickly. They're like,
Yeah.
Right.
I just need to talk about this before. I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
pissed. I'm pissed.
Like they heard that like being trans was a thing, and they were like, "Now what? Explain it to me." And it's like, well, some people who are assigned male at birth feel inside like they're
Yeah.
women, and they're like, "What do they think they have uteruses or some shit? What the fuck are they talking about?" And it's like, no, that's not what's happening. They're like, too late.
No.
I already did the bit.
No, sorry. I heard as much as I need to hear. I'm
Yeah.
good. I don't need to form a more educated opinion. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
based on this information now.
This is insane.
Crazy.
What that they obviously don't have a uterus, and it's like, no, that's
No,
not what
they
they're
don't.
saying. No one's saying that. It's like, well, I refuse to move past this assumption that I've made about what this is, you know.
Exactly.
And then if
It's
you
true.
bring that up, the retort from someone like John Cleese or a supporter would be like, it's a joke, and it's like, I understand what a joke is.
No,
I'm
it's just a
saying-
bad joke. It's not a joke, actually. The premise is
punchline
flawed, so it
only
can't be a joke.
works. Right. The punchline
Yeah.
only works if you accept the inaccurate premise. Like, and that if you don't accept the inaccurate premise, then the punchline doesn't work. So it's a bad joke. It's not based in truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's nuts. It's nuts. It makes no
Yeah.
sense to me. We fist fought John Cleese. I don't know how he got in here.
Yeah.
But we kicked
Anyway.
his ass.
Fight,
Yeah.
Business Paris, Tom McDonald, John Cleese, Jerry Seinfeld, guys. Where do we fall on this?
Fist fight
I
business
think
Paris. That's good.
Yeah, I think I want fuck. I want to.
I'm gonna start a
we wanna
business
fight
with Jerry
'em all.
Seinfeld. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
and I'm not even. I'm not
Yeah.
really gonna say why. But like, Tom McDonald
Yeah.
knows why, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like Tom McDonald, I'm gonna go to Paris with because I think he would rage, and I think
For sure.
even though I said that
I'm
I don't
gonna
want to
kick
party
the
with,
shit out of John Cleese and beat his old ass. Like I'm gonna like.
yeah,
It's gonna be the one
yeah.
fist fight on the list that I'm gonna win. Like I'm gonna beat the shit
Yeah.
out of that guy.
Yeah, it's funny because like if you picked Tom McDonald, I think it would be fine with the general public, right? Like,
Yeah.
But if you've picked either of the other two, it would probably be a problem, right? People would be like, "That's kind of fucked up that you fought Jerry Seinfeld or John Cleese. They're older, they're not, especially John Cleese." But we all still were like, "Yeah, fuck up the old man."
Also, like I'm not ashamed to admit that like I think Tom McDonald could beat me up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he looks like he can
Absolutely.
kick the shit out of me. Yeah,
Yeah. So like, I don't want to get beat up by Tom McDonald. Like I don't want to on
that
the
would
internet
suck.
like
That sucks,
mouthy
yeah.
TikToker Austin Archer gets his ass kicked by Tom McDonald.
Yeah.
Snowflake leftist gets his jaw broken by Tom McDonald. Now has 3 chins.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that was.
That might be
Did
a
you
good
have
place
one?
to end it.
You didn't have another roster that you wanted us to run through, I'm assuming.
And you know what's funny is that my third roster was going to be comedians, and we wound up having a better one than what I was going to.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, Austin, I guess thank you so much for coming on the show with us. Do you have anything you want to plug? You must have something that you got to tell people about.
I got so much shit.
Yeah.
Hey, follow me on YouTube, Austin Archer, Instagram or TikTok at yourpal_Austin. Funny stuff on there. My podcast
Yes.
is called People Pleaser with Austin Archer. I talk about
Yes.
sometimes funny stuff, sometimes really serious stuff. I have music on Spotify and Apple Music that you can go look up Austin Archer. If you want to own it, you can buy it at austinarchermusic.bandcamp.com if you're old school
Bandcamp's
like
great.
that.
Bandcamp.
Yeah, so all that stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, no, thank you so much, folks. And if you're also listening at home and you have a segment you'd like us to try, check out our website, bio.site/oopsallsegments. Follow the links to our segment suggestion form where you can type in your ideas and we'll add them to the segment wheel. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, say hello down below. And you can follow the show on social media pages at Oops All Segments. Check out our D&D show, What We Do in the Basement. Also, I think this will be coming out soon. Check me out. I just guessed it on Dungeon Busters this afternoon, and that should probably be coming out soon. And once again, I've been Kevin.
I've been Thomas. And
Thanks.
thank you so much,
Yeah.
Austin, for coming on.
Yes,
Yes.
boys. Very fun.
Yes. See you next week for another episode of Oops All Segments. Goodbye.
Bye.